Eutectic alloys solidify like a pure metal at constant temperature. They have fixed melting point and lowest melting point among all alloys. That is hypoeutectic alloy. In this example, you can see the alloys having less than 55% B will be kept in the category of hypoeutectic alloys, and alloys having more than 55% B will be kept in the category of hypereutectic alloys, and alloy having exactly 55% B will be eutectic alloy. So we are talking about eutectic alloy which will solidify like a pure metal at constant temperature. So point E corresponds to TE temperature, while Ma and Mb are the melting points of metal A and B. So in other alloys, the melting point will be always more than point E. Either you go on left hand side from point E to Ma, this line will give us the information about the liquidus temperature at and above which 100% liquid is obtained. Similarly, on the right hand side from E to Mb, this is the liquidus line at and above which 100% liquid. So these points are corresponding to melting points of different alloys having either less than E or more than E, and composition of E, that is 55% B, will be the lowest melting point. So number one, it is lowest melting point, and number two, it is fixed melting point. That's why the eutectic alloys are used for making safety valves, electric fuse wires, and solders, because for all these applications we want the material should immediately get freezed, or at the lowest melting point it will get melt and keep the other devices safe. So for these applications eutectic alloys are preferred. Here is a question: plot equilibrium diagram for alloy system AB if eutectic composition is 55% B, solid solubility limits of B in A at eutectic temperature is 12% B, and at room temperature 7% B. Actually the diagram has been made here. You are being given information only how to plot the equilibrium diagram with the given data. So you can just confirm it and practice it. Solid solubility limits of B in A alpha solid solution at eutectic temperature is 12% B, and at room temperature it is 7% B. It means maximum 12% B can be dissolved in 88% A at eutectic temperature, and maximum 7% B can be dissolved in 93% A at room temperature. Similarly, on the right hand side, the solid solubility limits of A and B will be shown in beta solid solution. So it is given to you at eutectic temperature maximum 8% can be dissolved in 92% B, and maximum 4% A can be dissolved in remaining 96% B. So as on the compositional axis, we have considered percentage B. So we will mention the solid solubility limits of A and B, that is in beta solid solution, in terms of percentage B. So 92% B and 96% B. These are corresponding to 8% A in 92% B and 4% A in 96% B. So in this way, you can make the diagram with the given information. Now part B of the question, show a typical microstructure of 35% B alloy at room temperature. Also calculate percentage of different phases applying lever rule. So 35% B belong to the category of hypoeutectic alloy. And as we know that if you slowly cool the 35% B alloy from its liquidus temperature will be belonging to MAE curve, liquidus curve. So just below this point, little amount of alpha will start to come out of liquid, and this procedure of coming out of alpha will remain continued between liquidus point and TE temperature, eutectic temperature. And just below eutectic temperature, remaining liquid will get transformed into eutectic mixture. So eutectic mixture is the mixture of alpha and beta. So finally at the room temperature, eutectic plus alpha will be obtained. Alpha, which has already been transformed above the eutectic temperature, and the remaining liquid which will get transformed into eutectic mixture, it will also be present along with this primary alpha at room temperature. So 35% B alloy will have E plus alpha at room temperature. Now we have to decide the boundaries of E and alpha. Boundary of E 55% B. Boundary of alpha 7%. Why we have not taken 12? Because 12% B is the boundary of alpha at eutectic temperature. And as we have to calculate the percentage of phases at room temperature. So the boundary point corresponding to room temperature we will have to select. 7% B alpha, 35% B overall chemical composition, in which we have to determine the percentage of alpha and eutectic. Boundary of eutectic 55%. So primary alpha distance from eutectic, opposite arm length, divided by total arm length into 100. It will come 55 minus 35 divided by total arm length, 55 minus 7 into 100. So this will come approximately 42%. Remaining is eutectic. 100 minus 42, 58% will be eutectic. You can cross check it by applying lever rule to calculate percentage eutectic. Opposite arm length, that is length from alpha, 35 minus 7 divided by total length will remain same what we had considered earlier, 55 minus 7 multiplied by 100, so it will come 58%. So this was about the equilibrium diagram which is given to you and calculation which has been asked in the part B. Now the microstructure, as far as the question of microstructure is concerned, 100% liquid, the solidification will just begin, then L plus alpha will be obtained. This is the condition of structure between liquidus point to eutectic temperature. Below L, L plus alpha is shown on the left hand side of the diagram, on the left hand side of E, because here we are considering the microstructure of 35% BLOI. So above liquidus temperature 100% liquid, between liquidus and eutectic L plus alpha, and below eutectic it is E plus alpha. So 100% liquid, L plus alpha, and eutectic plus alpha. Alpha will remain as it is and liquid will be converted into eutectic. So finally the third type of structure will be visible to you under optical metallurgical microscope. For 55% BLOI, 100% eutectic is obtained, and some microstructure will be like this: 100% eutectic. It is the alternate layers of alpha and beta. So suppose empty space is alpha and line portion is beta. So in this way, the eutectic mixture of alpha and beta, it is called 100% eutectic. In the 35% B, this line portion which is eutectic and the solid particles which the solid particle shape is of alpha. So alpha is also present along with eutectic, but in 100% eutectic microstructure it will be somewhat like this, complete alternate layers. So the next type of system, it is known as layer type of system. Two metals completely insoluble in each other in liquid state as well as solid state. Example is copper, molybdenum. So far we have seen three different kinds of systems. Two metals completely soluble in each other in liquid state as well as solid state. It is called isomorphous. Two metals completely soluble in each other in liquid state but completely insoluble in solid state. It is called eutectic system. Third one, two metals completely soluble in each other in liquid state but partially soluble in each other in solid state. It is called partial eutectic system. And now the fourth type of example we are going to see: two metals completely insoluble in liquid state as well as in solid state. So example is copper, molybdenum. A typical diagram will be like this. Again, Ma, Mb are the melting point of metal A and metal B. La plus Lb, Sa plus Lb, then Sa plus Sb. La and Lb are the liquid metal A and liquid metal B respectively. Sa and Sb are solid metal A and solid metal B respectively. So as two metals are completely insoluble in each other, that's why the two different liquids will be obtained. After heating the mixture up to the melting point of the element which has got higher melting point than the other one. So that will be the point where both will be in the liquid state. So both liquid will be separated from each other because both are insoluble in each other in liquid state. As soon as the temperature is decreased to below the melting point of any one of the metal, so that metal will start to, the solid particles of that metal will start to come out of the liquid mixture. So it will now become Sa plus Lb. Then when the melting point of other metal is crossed, that is the, or you can say freezing point of the other metal is reached, then it will also get solidified. So below that temperature it will be Sa plus Sb. So both the metals are also insoluble in each other in solid state. So naturally they will form layers. Whichever metal, whether A or B, whichever has got higher density, it will occupy bottom position, and the other metal will occupy upper position. So in this way, both will form layers over one another. They get solidified, forming layers over one another. So in case of casting, they do not find much application. In the cast form, they do not find much engineering application. However, by the powder metallurgical route, they can be made useful for many applications. So as we have taken the example of copper molybdenum, so for making electrical resistant material, the by powder metallurgical route, this particular combination can be made useful, copper and molybdenum, because copper has got very good electrical conductivity, while molybdenum has got very good resistivity against arcing. So both are the different kinds of characteristics. Any one metal will not satisfy our demand. That's why if we want to maintain the characteristic of both these two elements, then by the powder metallurgical route, such type of composite material can be manufactured. So where casting will not be useful, but the, if the product is made out with the help of powder metallurgical route, it can be made useful. Now about non-equilibrium cooling and its effects. Dotted curve is effect of violating equilibrium cooling, that is cooling alloy at a fast rate. Equilibrium diagram means, or equilibrium cooling means very slow cooling, furnace cooling. And non-equilibrium cooling means as soon as you take it out of the furnace and cool it in open atmosphere or in water or in oil, then it is called non-equilibrium cooling. So we have to remember that very slow cooling, that is you have to just uh, shut the door of the furnace. You have just to switch off the furnace. So furnace cooling is known as very slow cooling or equilibrium cooling. And any cooling, any cooling other than this one is kept in the category of non-equilibrium cooling. So whether it is air cooling or water or oil or any other media, when you do cool the material, it will always be faster than equilibrium cooling. So in fast cooling, what happens? Solidifying particles from liquid have high nucleation or transformation rate, and their growth rate will be slow. Why? It is due to lack of sufficient time. So this will result in the formation of fine structure. Fast cooling will result in the formation of fine structure. What is the difference between coarse structure and fine structure? In coarse structure, the size of the grain or size of the solid particles will be big, while in case of fine structure, the particle or grain size will be very small. So in case number 2, here the transformation rate or nucleation rate from liquid to solid is high. That is, more number of particles are forming. But due to fast cooling, they do not get sufficient time to be grown up. So their growth is very small. While in case of slow cooling, what will happen? Just opposite thing. The nucleation rate will be slow, That is, the number of particles transforming out of liquid will be less, and due to slow cooling, they will now have sufficient time to be grown up. So it will result in the formation of coarse structure. So this is the difference between coarse structure and fine structure, which are the results of slow cooling and fast cooling. So here the same thing has been mentioned. Coarse structure, nucleation rate or transformation rate slow and growth rate fast. Here nucleation rate fast, growth rate slow. Their size is not much increase. Now effect of fine structure. Due to fine structure, mechanical properties like hardness, tensile strength get improved. Moreover, non-equilibrium cooling is easier, faster, economical and desirable in most of the cases.